the Medical College of Wisconsin, celebrating Women's History Month.
I had a fantastic high school chemistry teacher. So his name was Mr. Biddick, I remember, and he was just very inspirational. And it was actually myself and another girl in the class that he kind of took under his wing and really encouraged us to pursue a scientific discipline, which in the 70s, wasn't necessarily encouraged in women that much, or in girls. So I really loved it. I loved the discovery of just the high school chemistry lab, and thought that that's what I wanted to do. As it turned out, it wasn't quite what I thought it would be, so I changed my mind again. But I discovered a whole new field, which was pharmacology, which is really the interaction between chemicals and the body. And then I just fell in love because it had everything that I wanted, but yet seemed to be a little bit more relevant to humankind than just straight chemistry was. So I worked for about a year and a half as a tech, and then entered MCW's graduate school. So there actually are only, in the United States, there are probably less than 5 research groups that work on endogenous cannabinoid signaling, and ours is one of them. There are several other groups at MCW who also study cannabinoids. Jean Seagard, who's over at the VA, has a strong program in cannabinoid research. Ching-Song Liu in pharmacology also, and then Bonnie Diddle, who's at the Blood Research Institute. So all of us study different aspects of endogenous cannabinoid signaling. And as I said, we're one of only about 5 in the country that are focused on cannabinoid signaling. I'm collaborating with all of those different groups for different purposes, sometimes to help give them advice about the pharmacology of the whole system, other times just as a, moral support that they don't really need too much help from me anymore. But I will say that all of them kind of got into the field because I said, I think you should study cannabinoid signaling in your system. And they were convinced by my arguments and gave it a try. I think I may have been only the second female graduate student to get a PhD in the Department of Pharmacology. There were other women on our faculty in pharmacology who were females. One of them, Mary Jo Vodisnik, was very much a trailblazer in our department. And I think there were probably fewer than 5 full professors who were women at MCW when I was appointed as a young assistant professor. So it wasn't like it was totally barren. There were plenty of examples, and in fact, one person who really gave me a lot of inspiration was Betty Sue Masters, who was currently, at that time that I was appointed, or very shortly thereafter, was made chairman of biochemistry. And she not only was chairman, but she also had children. So she gave, myself and I think other women this hope that you could have a scientific career that was very successful and raise a family at the same time. Honestly, that's one of the most fun parts of being a researcher in an academic environment, are all the young people that you get to mentor and help make decisions, sometimes that science isn't for them, which is fine, but in other cases, helping people along their way to fulfill their dreams of a scientific career. The most important mentor I had was Bill Campbell, who came on in 1991 to take over the chairmanship of the Department of Pharmacology. My early years trying to make that transition to become independent, and then, by the way, I had 3 kids during that time period, so I wasn't on a really fast trajectory at the time. I was appointed as a faculty member in '85. I actually was denied my first promotion to associate professor because I hadn't really accomplished enough. And Bill came in right during that time, and he pretty much said, I have confidence in you, you can do it, let's take another few years, get you some more resources for your lab and some help. And because, by the way, I was given a faculty job but no startup money whatsoever, so it was kind of, go ahead and be a faculty member, but get everything you need to get things rolling on your own. So that infusion into my lab, as well as sort of that vote of confidence, really made all the difference in the world, and things turned around very quickly thereafter. So I'm, that's what a mentor can do, is really both give you confidence, and if they're in the position, they can give you just that little bit of extra help that helps you make it.